Did you know Jägermeister was originally intended to be a cough medicine? I don't know if you knew, I certainly didn't know, but it works. Any which way, welcome to the weekly quiz. I've got two contestants, contestant number 1 and contestant number 2. Contestant number 1, please introduce yourself.
I go by the name Spaxi from Broadest. Yeah, from here, Brochi, Banki, Tilewane.
It's
all in Tause.
Mukwena, stand up.
Wow. Fun,
nice one. Contestant number 2, introduce yourself.
My name is Nono. So I guess give up when I was to
Oh, wow. Today. Right, let's play the weekly quiz. Let's play the weekly quiz. Contestant number 1, here is your first question.
Okay.
What is the most commonly purchased food? Is it A, meat, B, fresh bread, or C, medicine?
Come again.
What is the most commonly bought food? Is it A, meat, B, fresh bread, C, medicine?
I think it's B.
Fresh bread.
Yeah. Let me say A. I go for A more. Yeah.
You've changed your mind to A.
Yeah.
That is unfortunately incorrect. It's actually B. You had got it correct. Fresh bread. Contestant number 2, here's your first question.
Okay.
Which fruit contains more fat? Is it A, berries, B, apples, or C, avocados? Which fruit contains more fat? Is it A, berries, B, apples, or C, avocados?
I'll go with C.
Ow.
Yes.
Why?
Well, hey, banting. They always eat avocados, so.
Wow, okay. Why are avocado on myself?
I don't like it. It's tasteless.
I love it. I think it's good. And you know what? You should continue eating. You should actually start eating it. That is correct. Oh. Avocados actually do contain more fat. Let's move on to question number 2 for contestant number 1. Here it is. What is stressed spelled like backwards? What is stressed spelled like backwards? Is it A, deserts, B, deserts, or C, desserts?
Come again for that question.
How peleta le hoko stressed? O le peleta le tsoko morago. Le pronounce le hoko lehe. Is it deserts? A. Is it B, deserts, or is it C, desserts?
Deserts. I think it's
final answer. Desert and Mickey.
No, it's just like I don't know. I really tsoko morago, so really exactly
okay. Well, that is unfortunately incorrect. Actually, how spell stressed is spelled D-E-S-S-E-R-T-S. Bena desserts. How Muriana in stressed? How Muriana in desserts? Let's move on to contestant number 2. Here is your second question. Which of the following kings for playing cards has no mustache? Is it A, the king of ace, B, the king of hearts, or C, the king of spade?
Go with what was the first one?
Is it A, the king of ace, B, the king of hearts, C, the king of spade?
I'll go with A.
The king of ace?
Yes.
Ow.
No, let me change to spade.
Do you play cards?
Sometimes, but I just forgot. I'll go with C.
You're gonna go with C?
Yeah, spade.
Well, had you said A, that would have been incorrect.
Okay.
Had you said B, that would have been correct because C is incorrect. The king of hearts ke yone na le mustache. O no tsa di playing cards o bodi la tlhoka jana. Le sa tsala crazy di hello sa di lebi. Question number 1, here is your third and final question of round number 1. Which of the following is a fast food with the highest calories? Is it A, milkshake, B, fried chips, C, burgers?
I'll go for burgers.
Umotole burger.
No, I cannot tell you burger. Marela. I think it's better.
What makes you think ke burger ena le di calories tse dintsi?
because the sauce and then
The what you might call it with
the body lettuce, yeah. No.
That's unfortunately incorrect. Milkshakes. Ke ona na le di-calorie tse di ko godimo out of all those that I just read out. Question number 1. Number 2, here is your last question of round number 1. Whew. So far, it's interesting. Right, here's the question. The common bread ingredient, L-cysteine, is derived from what? The common ingredient in bread, I can have the L-cysteine. I want to believe it is. I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's in contestant number 2. Is it A, human hair, B, butt cheeks, C, saliva?
What?
There's an ingredient within bread, L-cysteine. Where is it derived from? It's a guy. Is it A, human hair, B, butt cheeks? Butt cheeks are C, saliva.
I don't know. I'll just go with butt cheeks. I honestly don't know.
Why would you want to go to such an obscure... Not that it's incorrect. I mean, I guess I'm not sure yet, but maybe tell me a bit of a story there. But why would you think an ingredient to make bread is derived from butt cheeks? You might be onto something.
Well, first of all, hair is out of the question. We don't eat hair, and then saliva, ew. So I mean, I'll just have to go with
But then butt cheeks, is associated with the more ew. But anyway, that's incorrect. It's actually human hair.
What?
And that's how we come to the first round of the weekly quiz. Let's find out what happens in round number 2. Currently, question number 2 is actually leading, having answered a correct question. And question number 1 is still trailing. Check round number 2. Let's find out. Right, and we're back to round number 2. And this is the true or false type of round. Let's find out if contestant number 1 can catch up with contestant number 2 who's currently leading, having won round number 1 with that legendary answer. Anyway, right, let's start the first question of round number 2. Contestant number 1, here it is. There's a true or false round. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. True or false?
False.
False.
I have no idea, Varela.
How you feel?
How you feel?
You should have felt it because it's actually true. When you've got 12 or more cows, it's called a flink in actual fact. Question number 2, here is your true or false question. The most common time for a wake-up call is 7 a.m. True or false?
I'll say it's true.
Kana di call the wake up call ke dirwang ko di hoteleng jalo jalo motho le hotel.
Yeah.
We just guessing kana wa itse for a fact.
Well, personally, Ellen, I give out that early before a particular time. So imagine I'll only do at 5 if I can. Sounds really good in English.
Well, that's correct. It is true. It is a very, very common time for a wake-up call. That is 7 a.m. Question number 1. Here is your second and last true or false question. Dolphins sleep with both eyes closed. True or false?
False.
Final answer?
My final answer is also false.
Right, so that is actually correct. It is false. Dolphins sleep with both eyes open, not closed. Right, let's move on. Question number 2 here is your second last question. Your last question of round number 2. Taste and flavor are the same thing. True or false? Taste and flavor are the same thing. Is it true or is it false?
I'll say false.
Ka gore?
Taste and flavor. I don't know.
Well, it's correct in that you taste the flavor. It's not the same thing. And that's how we come to the end of round number 2 and the true or false round. We're going to move on to round number 3 to find out what's going to really happen in that these two are going head to head. Very interesting round. Looks like contestant number 2 continues to dominate. Contestant number 1 is round number 3 hides right after this. And this is round number 3. This is the top of your dome type of round. And it's quite a tricky one because there are no options to answers. It just has to come from your mind. Because number 1, here is your final question, which is round number 3. Which country does Botswana take its food from? Which country does Botswana take its food from?
I think it's South Africa.
Right. Question number 2. Here is your final round question. What is Botswana's largest export except diamonds?
Except diamonds. Wow. Do I get a clue?
You do not get a clue. It has to come from your mindset. Question number 1.
I'll go with meat. I don't meat.
After this, we'll find out how it all pans out. As soon as we're back, we'll be able to determine who the winner is. Right, now they have since put in their answers of round number 3, because number 1 had the question, which was, where does Botswana get its food from? And his answer was South Africa. He was actually correct. We do get most of our food from Mzansi. And question number 2, her question was, what is Botswana's largest export except diamonds? He said meat. I'm going to accept it because in actual fact, we export beef, which is meat anyway. So they both got round number 3 correctly, but they can only be one winner. And by virtue of having done well in all 3 rounds, question number 2 is today's winner. Question number 2, well done. Question number 1, and we from all of this. Question number 1, of all those questions,
Gore ne di sia ka tlhaloganya ne so re di thata gore me ga ga ke ready mo go tsona. So that's it for me.
Wow. And Gradila, like the way you answered round number 3, we export, I think we import a lot of food from South Africa. Is that something that you knew for a fact?
Yeah, ke se mo tlhaloganya ya mela.
100%. Question number 1, how did you prepare for this? Did you read something? Question number 2, rather, sorry. You're the winner. How did you prepare? Because in all the questions and you did.
Well, I didn't prepare for anything. Not really. Not really. I guess a bit of reality then there.
Wow. And that's how we come to the end of the show. Look, if you want to be part and parcel of the show, you want to be a contestant on the show, there's a number at the bottom of the screen. Please communicate that number. Communicate to that number and you could be on the hot seat. Until then, sharp, sharp.